everybody. Welcome back to Inside the Box Score. I'm Brendan Taylor with a haircut. And to my right, as always, is Jacob Gummerson in a very unfortunate hat. How are we doing today?
You know what's unfortunate is my sweatshirt because go Hoosiers! This is a NBA video talking about the postseason. If you like Brennan talking, it'll be majority him today because I don't know really much about the postseason. I haven't really paid much attention to it because my Pacers suck, and then we didn't get a first round pick. So it's been a very unfortunate year for basketball for me.
Yeah,
But I'm doing good.
we could talk about like the draft lottery first, because that just happened.
Yeah, we'll do that. Let's do that first.
I'll
Let's
let
just
you know what
dive
you know
straight
what
into it.
you know what. Since it's gonna be mainly me talking, let's get his 2 cents on the draft lottery. A lot of stuff happened, but the main thing that we care about over here, or mainly him, because I don't care about the draft lottery. My team is in the Eastern Conference Finals. I don't care about the draft lottery, which, by the way, got the Knicks jersey on for this occasion. I have to, but anyways, like I was saying, he cares about the draft lottery, and it did not go well for him. So
Well, Washington got the first overall pick. I'm gonna pull up. I just actually got out of it. I have the NBA draft lottery. I'm gonna pull it back up on my phone. Pacers kind of semi tanked. They out of the
what
tank
do
or
you
they were
mean?
just
What do you
that
mean
bad.
semi tanked? They definitely tanked.
Oh,
Not you
I
don't
it
go
was that or they were
19
just
and
that bad
63. You don't go 19 and 63 with a roster like that if you're not tanking. If I'm being honest with
for
you,
sure. That's
I
valid.
I don't see how a team like that
And
realistically does that bad and doesn't do it like on
yeah,
purpose.
especially the year after making the finals, it did not go over the Pacers' way, at all, like at all.
No,
The
it did
NBA
not.
draft lottery I had it on my phone. First overall went to the Washington Wizards. They were really.
They might not have been tanking. I mean, maybe like a little bit, but they might not have been tanking.
I think they were just that bad. Like I just think they were that bad.
Yeah.
And
I
they and they
will.
and
The
they're the ones
Wizards
that started
are
the
the
trade.
Wizards are an interesting case. They remind me a lot of the Jets. If I'm going to be honest with you, the Wizards
So just
are a team with the hold on.
trash.
Well, yeah, they both suck. But I have a point with this. I have a point with this.
Okay, well, can't wait to hear it.
The New York Jets and the Wizards both have like interesting futures. Interesting futures. Maybe this could be biased from my point of view from the Jets thing because that is a Jets poster. I know it's bright, but that is a Jets like LED sign back there. So that's what that is. Anyways, this might be a little bit biased coming from me, but I think that the Jets have a pretty decent upside this year. And not that they're going to, not that they're 100% going to be great or anything like that, but they have a pretty good upside with the picks that they have in the roster. If Geno Smith can be not even like a Hall of Fame level quarterback, but just like a game manager, then we could maybe do something. And I feel the same with the Wizards because they got Anthony Davis and Trae Young, and I noticed you were yeah they got Anthony Davis and Trae Young, and they just got the number one overall pick. So next year they look like they could have a pretty good upside, but it is
Good.
still the Wizards, and they could
Yeah, it's
always
still
mess it up.
Washington.
Same thing with the Jets.
They
It's
probably
always
will.
the Jets, and they can still mess it up. So that's why I compare the two because they're both teams that are in the mud, in the dirt, like they're both at the bottom of the barrel. No, not most teams don't even compare with them, unfortunately for my case. But I don't really care about the Wizards, so in that case, I don't really doesn't
Yeah,
really matter to me. But they both are teams that have a pretty good upside, but you don't know because they could always mess it up.
for sure. At number 2 is the Jazz. 3 is Memphis, and at 4 should have been the Pacers, but it's a team I cannot stand in the Chicago Bulls.
You don't like the Bulls?
I don't like a single Chicago team. That is throughout all sports. I hate the Cubs. I cannot stand the Chicago Blackhawks. I don't like the Bulls. And I don't like the Bears. I don't like the Bears, even though they're gonna probably move to Indiana. I don't like the Bears. I never
The
have.
Gary.
I didn't like
Imagine.
them.
I'm still thinking about the Gary Bears. The
The
Gary.
Gary Bears. It's so stupid. And then
Nah,
I guess the
no
White
way
Sox.
though.
My physical therapist. My physical therapist is a White Sox fan. He's quite literally one of my favorite people right now. So I guess I semi like the White Sox. And I
Dude,
went my first MLB game was actually at the White Sox Stadium, so I guess I like them for that. But yeah, I just don't like Chicago sports whatsoever at
I'm
all.
not gonna lie. When you were talking about like a physical therapist and like the White Sox, I thought of something completely different. Because like, they're so bad that you got to go to therapy or something like that.
Oh, gotcha.
No offense to
Anyways,
your physical therapist. I'm sure he's a great guy. I just thought of that in my head.
no, he's a great guy. Although he is a Packers, bad voice crack. He is a Packers fan. He's a Packers and White Sox fan. That's almost weirder than me being a Seahawks and Cardinals fan. Because
He
like
means
Chicago
St.
and
Louis.
Milwaukee,
He means St. Louis Cardinals, by the way, because he's not
yes,
like
St. Louis Cardinals.
he definitely doesn't have, he definitely doesn't root for two football teams in the same division. And I'm not being sarcastic. He doesn't. But anyways, draft
Yeah,
lottery. Draft lottery really
Nets.
wasn't the Nets, bro. The Brooklyn Nets might have the worst luck in. They might have worse luck than the Jets. They got the 6th overall pick.
I thought they would be top 3. I thought they would.
I thought they'd be top 3. I thought they might get number 1. They got the 6th pick.
I thought they could have gone number 1. They got number 6.
Dude, they get
If you're a Nets
screwed.
fan, I'm sorry.
Dude, they missed out on Jaylen Brown. Like they had like a trade with the Celtics back in the day for like Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce and Jason Terry, and they had like a trade with them back in the day. And through that trade, the Celtics ended up getting, I believe, both Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Definitely Jaylen Brown. I'm not sure about. Okay. They got both. They got both Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum off that trade, and then they go and get James Harden, Kyrie Irving, and Kevin Durant. They can't win with them, and now they're just terrible. They can't do anything right. The only thing good, the only semi good thing about the Brooklyn Nets is Michael Porter. The pass ends here. I mean, the drive ends here, Junior. But
Porter's a great player. He's just on a really awful team.
Yeah. Besides that, they have legit nothing. They have nothing.
Yeah, and then after that, 7 is Kings, 8 is Hawks, 9 is Mavericks, 10 is Milwaukee.
Milwaukee. We gotta talk about Milwaukee, and you know what we're talking about with Milwaukee. Giannis Antetokounmpo. Shams said some. He said something about Giannis. So let me look at that really quick. Giannis. Let me see what he said. All right. Here it says latest on Giannis trade front per Shams, who's the NBA. Like, if you don't know, because we do have like a mini football audience. If you don't know who Shams is, he's basically the Adam Schefter of the NBA. So he said, the Adam Schefter of the NBA. Yeah, he is the Adam Schefter of the NBA. He said front office maintaining asking price of a young blue chip talent and or a surplus of draft picks. Blah blah blah. But the main thing here is the Timberwolves, Cavs, Celtics, Knicks, and Lakers pursued Giannis at the trade deadline. And I think there's another list of like teams he could potentially go to. Favorites to trade for Giannis on Kalshi. I don't like Kalshi, but just for like odds of where he could go, I'm gonna use him. We got the Celtics. He stays with the Bucks. I don't see that happening, but okay. The Cavs, the Spurs, the Magic for some reason. The Knicks, the Lakers, the Warriors, the Mavs, and the Heat. So, do you think Giannis gets traded? If so, where? This is Boston. This is very. You think Boston?
I think it makes sense. He goes to.
I think it makes sense that he goes to Boston. The thing is, before these playoffs, there were a lot of talks of Giannis, of the Knicks, of it being either we win the finals or we get Giannis. Now both sides are kind of more, because back then it was like, oh, we could make the finals, but we might not because of the Pistons and the Celtics and all those other teams. But right now, I know you have been watching the playoffs, but you know this. The Knicks have arguably been the strongest team in the playoffs so far. They just got done with the sweep against they just got done with the sweep against the 76ers. They beat a team by like 50 in a closeout game. They beat the Sixers by like 30 in a closeout game. They're their margin of victory is like super high. They haven't every game they've won, they won by at least 10 or well, no, besides one because one game we won by like 6. But
Very close. Yeah.
but besides that one game, we won every single one by like 10 plus points. And the 2 games we lost by 2 points combined. So the Knicks have been the most dominant team, definitely in the East, maybe in the league so far in the playoffs. The championship aspirations are looking more likely by the day. So
I don't know about all of that because
it would
Thunder have been
the Thunder. I mean the Thunder, yeah, but the Thunder played the
they
8th
lost
seed
the game yet.
and the Lakers with LeBron and friends. We played the Hawks who are hold on. We played the Hawks who a lot of people said are like obviously besides like the top teams, people are saying like oh they're the hardest to play in the first round. And then we played the Sixers who came off a 3-1 comeback against the Boston Celtics who we thought we were going to play but ended up choking and we played the Sixers instead. So those are 2 solid teams. Meanwhile, the Thunder beat the 8th seeded Suns and the Lakers without Luka Doncic. So
Solid.
you could argue that the Knicks have had the best playoff run so far. And bias maybe, but from what I've seen, I totally believe it. Will we keep that up? I don't think it's going to be as big, but I think we will continue winning. And hopefully we make the NBA Finals. But that is all to be decided in a matter of time. Back to my point.
Yeah.
That we're probably more likely to go to the finals now. But if we don't, Giannis is still on the table. And I think Shams also said that they would be willing to trade him before the draft. So we could have a Giannis trade as early as like mid-June.
Like June.
Yeah.
And then yeah. So Giannis is up there. He's on the. I mean, anything could happen with Giannis. I could see so much different stuff happening with him, but I think him going to Boston makes the most sense. I could see the Knicks as well, but I mean, he could also stay. I don't think he will stay, but there's a realistic possibility it does happen, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's really weird with the Giannis situation because nobody knows anything.
It is.
It's
It's
just
bizarre.
it's just total chaos. So yeah,
It really
enough
is.
talk about Giannis. Let's talk about the finals. I mean not the finals, the playoffs. I've talked about the Knicks at nauseum. If you follow the NBA at all, you know how good they've been. I'm not gonna spend too much talking about them anymore. In hold on. Sorry, I thought someone might be coming to my door, but guess not. Anyways, as I was saying, let's talk about another team. Do you have, because I know you said that you haven't really been watching the playoffs, do you have like a specific thing you want to talk about in the playoffs specifically, or do you just want me to go?
I do want to talk about the one thing I do want to talk about is where is it? The series between Cleveland and Toronto.
You mean last
Game
series?
7.
Oh, game 7.
Last series.
I thought you meant Cleveland and Detroit. We
Wait, was
could
that the
also
one?
talk
No,
about
or was it game 6?
what the RJ
Wait,
Barrett
what's the
one.
one that had that crazy shot at the end?
Yeah, the RJ Barrett. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was game 6.
Sorry, excuse me, game 6. That was insane. That was crazy. I actually watched that game and I like threw my phone when it happened. I was that was crazy.
I'm pretty sure
Then
that was
that's
like
one of the only games you
after.
watched.
I'm pretty sure that was like after the Magic went like 0 for 23 or something like that in the fourth quarter and choked to the Pistons in a game. And after that, I think I was just exhausted and I went to sleep. So I didn't really see that, but I watched it. That shot was crazy.
Remind me of a lot like Tyrese Halliburton, how clutch he is, you know. You just wish you had a Tyrese Halliburton on your team. I understand. Everybody
We,
does.
we have
Matt,
Jalen Brunson. He's better than Tyrese Halliburton.
Tyrese
I don't
Halliburton.
care.
No, he's not. You're
Don't
incorrect.
care.
No,
Don't
he's
care.
not.
Don't
No, he's
care.
not.
I'm not having this debate. Don't care.
Yeah, 'cause
Anyways,
you know you're not gonna win.
like I was saying, I'm gonna talk about the Pistons and Cavs series right now because it's probably the most interesting so far. Knicks and
Yeah,
76ers is over. It's literally done. We already swept them.
So it's okay.
The Thunder and the Lakers series, they're playing tonight or the night that we're recording this. But whether or not the Lakers win, the series is pretty much done. So we're not going to have to worry about that. And the Spurs and Timberwolves, we will definitely talk about that because there was a lot of stuff that happened last night that I specifically want to talk about. But for now, let's talk about this Pistons Cavs series. Game 4 is on in 20 minutes as of us recording this video. That game is pretty much going to decide whether or not this series ends now or if it ends later. Because it is 2-1 right now to the Pistons. If the Pistons win, the series is pretty much over because it's a 3-1 deficit, and I highly doubt that the Cleveland Cavaliers come back from 3-1 down, especially going back to Detroit. However, if Cleveland wins game 2, it's a whole different story because then they go back to Detroit. They might lose that, but then they go back to Cleveland. They could win that and go to game 7, which is what I'm hoping for. Because I want the Knicks to get as much rest as possible before these next games. So I hope it goes to 7, but it could end as early as I think in 2 days, because obviously if the Pistons win tonight and they win then it would be 2 days. But it could end
Game 5 is on the 13th.
Okay, the 13th. So yeah, in 2 days. So it either ends in 2 days or it ends in
11.
So it either ends in 2 days or it ends in a week from the next game. If we get a week plus break and they go to game 7, that is huge. That is huge.
Yeah. That is, yeah.
So that's why I'm thinking this game is so important because it decides not only how much rest do we get, but also, actually, I think how much rest we get is pretty much just actually, I don't know because they could go earlier if all the series end quicker, but if it gets extended, they might end later. So I'm not entirely sure about that. If you know more about conference championship scheduling, let us know in the comments. But anyways, my point is this game right here could possibly decide whether or not the Knicks get a lot more rest than the team that they're playing or just a little bit more. And I personally hope that I'm obviously going to root for the Cavs. I hope that we get more rest. And obviously, OG, he did have a hamstring strain, but he should be back for game 1. I'm not worried about that at all. So we will be fully healthy. So who do I want to play? The thing is, if you're going off of who would I want to play in order to prove that we're truly the best of the best, then obviously Detroit. But if you're asking from who do I want to play off of who do I think we could beat more than the Cavs, I personally think we just beat the Sixers in 4. We could easily beat the Cavs in 5. We could easily beat them in 5.
I see that. Another thing is I want to talk about, and I talked to Brendan and Xavier. You guys know Xavier about this a little bit. I think the Timberwolves are about to go nuts. I think that they're the underdog. They're the Indiana Pacers of this year's tournament. I think they're going to be overlooked a crap ton, or I guess underlooked. I don't know what the right word is. They beat the Nuggets in Game 6. Number 3 seed, they went on right now. The series is tied with the Spurs 2-2. The next game is Tuesday at 8 p.m. I think the Timberwolves win in Game 6. I think the Timberwolves are going to just knock off the Spurs. I truly think so.
You think they win the next 2? You think they win in San Antonio, then go to Minnesota and win Game 6?
Correct.
All right. I personally think this series is probably, if Minnesota wins in Game 5, then I think it could end in 6. I think it could end in 6 if it goes either way. If Minnesota wins Game 5, it could end in 6. But if San Antonio wins a Game 5, it could also end in 6. I think.
For sure.
I mean, obviously, no, duh. But Game 6 is really where it matters. If I'm to be honest, Game 5, it could go either way. In Game 6, obviously it's either you end the series or you go to 7. This, again, a no-duh statement, but Game 6 is way more important, in my opinion, than Game 5. Not that Game 5 is not important, but Game 6 is way more important than Game 5. So, And also the team that wins game 6 could have a lot of momentum going into if it goes
Oh,
Timberwolves Spurs, the Spurs are going to have so much momentum going into game 7, being at home, coming off a win on the road.
absolutely.
It'll be so much different, but if the Timberwolves win game 6, they could also have momentum, which is why I say that game 6, like obviously game 6 is important for any series, but it's really important here because it either obviously ends or the team that extends it could have a lot of momentum going into the next game. And that's really important in a series like this because it's going back and forth the whole time.
That's been. Yeah, I don't know why. I just have so much faith in the Timberwolves. I couldn't tell you why, especially coming from a guy who doesn't really watch that much basketball. I don't know what's going on, but I haven't really watched that many. But I just have a gut feeling that Minnesota's just gonna just take off out of nowhere when no one expects it. So I want to be the one to call it so I can clip it when I'm right, or
Well,
extremely wrong.
well, they have played in the conference. They have played in the conference finals for like the last 2 years. They played in 2024 against the Mavs and then 2025 against the Thunder. They lost both times. So if they go back, it's the third straight conference championship appearance for the Timberwolves, and they could lose
That's
back
like
to back. They could lose back to back in the conference championship. Like imagine
yeah.
if the Pacers, instead of beating the Knicks, unfortunately, but instead of beating the Knicks, they lost again. And Tyrese Halliburton obviously never tears Achilles. They go back, and they're in like it's like Pacers and it's like instead of Pistons and Cavs, it's Pistons and Pacers, or like something like that. Maybe Knicks and Pacers again, but I say Pistons and Pacers works more. Either way, it really doesn't matter. Point is, imagine they go back and they lose it again. That's 3 straight years you go to the conference championship and lose. You got to feel terrible after that.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that just sucks. I mean, that poor fan base. I mean, golly, man. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, out of all the teams here, I like Minnesota the most. Obviously, I hate the Knicks. Go Pacers.
Oh, I
Way on
thought
you
you meant
guys.
like. I thought you meant like as in like you like them to win the finals the most.
Oh, yeah. I mean, no. Like it's like who I'm
Not
rooting
not.
for.
I haven't seen you in like the prior thing, but I mean like in this sense when you said I like them the most. No, no, you just mean like you
Who
like
do
the
I like
team the
the
most.
most? The Knicks. I think the Knicks gonna win the finals. And I hate saying that, but I'm not. I'm an unbiased fan. You see this. That's a Indiana Pacers hat, and I'm over here saying that the Knicks gonna win the finals. Now I'm not saying that because my best friend's is a Knicks fan. As a sports fan, I think the Knicks are going to beat the Timberwolves in the NBA Finals, and that's my prediction.
I think it's the Spurs, but it's either or. It could be really any team besides the
I could see
Lakers.
any three. It could be any.
It could
I
be any
agree.
of the
I think
three besides the
Timberwolves most,
Lakers.
or
No
least
offense to the
likely,
Lakers,
but I
but
have
they're probably
a
gonna
gut
lose
feeling.
tonight. The Lakers are also since LeBron. This could be not only his last game as a Laker, from what I've heard. This could also be his last game. Period. Do you think he
That's
ends it
fine.
like this? Do you think he retires now, or do you think that he goes for another one?
I hope he retires. I don't like LeBron. I like him
I
as a person, not a basketball player. If that makes sense.
I mean, I personally would like to see him play another year because he's LeBron James, and I think just seeing him play one
Valid.
more time would be cool. But ending on year 23 with like the number 23 would also be pretty cool. So obviously, it's up to him if he wants to retire or unretire. I'm not telling him what to do. I'm just saying it'd be cool to see him again in the
For
NBA.
sure.
And maybe
Absolutely.
the Lakers build around him and Luka Doncic, and they go on an actual run, and maybe just maybe they do have the obviously the star talent, but they need the bench rotation.
They do, and they
So
don't have that
they don't have the bench. So if they could get the bench, they probably could make a run, but they don't have the bench. So right now it's looking unlikely.
for sure.
All right. I also want to talk about the Spurs Timberwolves game last night because that game was wild. If you
Oh,
don't,
I didn't watch it.
you didn't watch it, dude. Dude,
No. I went to
do
bed
you
early
know
last night.
do you know anything about that game?
Nothing. And
You don't know
crazy.
wow. Wow.
No,
No,
I
no,
didn't
no, no,
watch.
no, no.
Seriously,
No, I get that. But like you
I
had to
didn't.
know that Wemby elbowed a guy and got ejected, right?
He did.
Yeah, he
I'm so
elbowed.
serious.
I'm being so serious right now. He elbowed Nas Reed and got ejected.
Are
I
you
will
kidding?
send you.
I'm going.
I will send you
I'm,
the
I'm
video
going.
right now.
I'm going to Twitter. No, you talk. I'm going to Twitter right now and watching this. You tell the fans what happened. I'm going to right now.
Yeah, Wemby literally elbowed him in the throat and got ejected for it. He's watching the video right now, so in case you people have not seen it, I might actually pull up on the screen right now, so
Oh! You just can't do that.
dude, he literally
Right in
elbowed
the
him.
face.
He when I
He
dude,
threw him.
hold on. I watched this live. When I watched it on my TV over here, because if you don't know, I have a TV over here. That's where I watch all the sports games. When I watched it live, I thought it was like an accident of I thought it was like an
His teammates' reaction.
oh yeah, his teammate's reaction. I mean, I'd react to that too if my teammate just elbowed a guy in the throat. But anyways, as I was saying, as I watched the game live, I thought when I watched it, I thought, oh, it was just an incident. And then I see everybody just like getting up and be like, hey, and I'm like, what's going on? I thought that was just like an accident. He didn't mean to elbow him. You look at the replay, it looks like he meant to elbow him in the throat.
Oh, he absolutely did. You can't
And the
deny it.
yeah, and the thing is, he could have potentially gotten suspended for next game, game 5. The NBA decided that the ejection was enough, and they didn't suspend him for a game. They didn't do anything. He just got the ejection, and he's gonna play in game 5.
That's stupid.
I mean, it is his
You know
first
what this
time,
kind of
and
reminds me of?
hmm?
Hold on. I'm trying to think of the guy's name. Keep talking. I'll say it
Wait,
when I
hold on,
think of it.
hold on. Is it Ron Artest?
Yeah.
You thinking of
Remember
the guy?
Ron Artest?
You thinking of the
Yeah,
guy
that
that
elbowed
elbowed?
James Harden.
Yeah, he elbowed him, but that was in the
It
face, and I think
reminds
it
me.
actually injured him. Whereas whereas he elbowed him, and well, I'm not gonna say that the throat is worse than the face, but he didn't get hurt, and he was fine after that.
What just read my mind. It reminded me exactly of this. Like this is the same thing, except just different part. But
Also, I will say, Ron Artest is known for doing things like that. He literally started a
yeah,
brawl.
he's a
He
douche.
started like the biggest brawl in NBA history. Meanwhile, Victor Wembanyama has only done that one thing and nothing else. So I do understand why they didn't suspend him. He does it again, they probably will, but especially in a series like this, you kind of I don't want to say you can't suspend him because you obviously can, but you really shouldn't. It's too pivotal.
Is that? But if you're Wembanyama, you have to keep your temper. This is the farthest the Spurs have made it in quite some time in the playoffs. And this is the most relevant they've been in a long time, in my opinion, at least from what I know. This is the chance, and they have a realistic chance of making the NBA Finals. You just can't do this as the superstar player. You just can't. Like end of
Yeah,
discussion. You just can't do that.
yeah. It's like
That's insane.
I don't know. I mean, from what I've seen, they were playing not the Spurs. The Timberwolves have been playing rough all series against them, but you still shouldn't elbow somebody in the throat.
No. Oh, that would hurt.
But anyways,
That
the
would
Spurs
hurt.
still after he got ejected, which was in like the second quarter, middle of the
It was
way through
early.
the second
Early.
quarter, they had like a lead going into the fourth. And then Anthony Edwards dropped 16 in the fourth quarter and scored 36 points, and the Timberwolves took game 2.
Okay, actually, my one of my teachers actually told me about Anthony Edwards having a killer second half. Actually, I knew that. That's the only thing I knew. No idea about Victor Wembanyama though. I had no idea.
You know, he scored 18 of his
That's
points in
insane.
the he
My
scored
God.
18 of his 30. He scored half his points in the second half and half in the first, so pretty even, but he only scored 2 in the third
Very
and
even.
16 in the fourth, so a little less even when you think about it that way. But yeah, that series is like popcorn worthy cinema level right now. Game 5 is going to be great. Game 6 most likely going to be great too. I'm
Hopefully
excited
game
to
seven.
see it. Hopefully, we get a game 7. If not, it will
I'm
most
gonna be
likely
watching this
be.
series a lot more.
Yeah, you gotta watch the. I'm
Because
telling
of
you,
that,
these NBA playoffs have been
yeah.
insane. You gotta watch them more because you watched like
I
one
mean,
or two
honestly,
games.
I watched the Pacers last year, and that was just the most insane round I think I've ever seen as a sports fan. Other than the Giants that one year that went 9-7, or there's so many other teams I could name. That was just one of the most bizarre ones I've ever seen. But yeah, I'm definitely missing out. So I'm going to go watch some NBA finals. I'm at the finals, playoffs. I always watch the finals. I will be watching Pistons Cavs because it's two teams I don't like, and I mean, and the seas is also going to see who the Knicks play, and I care about the Knicks because of you. Oh, I don't like them, but I hope they do good this year because of you, because the Pacers can't do anything.
Yeah.
But it is kind of ironic that the one year the Knicks might make the NBA Finals, the Pacers aren't there to beat them. It's just really ironic how that just like happens, you know? Like the Pacers just aren't there to beat them this year, you know? The past 2
Okay.
years we have
Okay.
kicked you guys out of the playoffs, and this year you guys are making an amazing run. You guys looked unstoppable, and the Pacers aren't there to stop that this year. So if anything, this is a I'm sorry for what I've done to the past for you. You can go to the NBA Finals this year, and hopefully you win. But the
Well,
next year
well,
you'll still
we're gonna
Pacers
do what you
again.
we're gonna do what you couldn't do. So just settle down over there. Anyways, that's
If
gonna
Tyrese
do it.
Halliburton didn't tear his Achilles, we would have won. He would have scored 40. We would have killed them. I'm dead serious. He would have gone crazy, and he was going crazy. He was top 3 in scoring after he tore his Achilles.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm still butthurt about that. You know.
Well, you got 2
Man.
rings after that, so you don't get to complain. Anyways, that's gonna
Go
do it
Hoosiers.
for
Go Hawks.
this. Anyways, that's gonna do it for this episode. If you did like it, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment down below your thoughts on the NBA playoffs. Comment down below who you're rooting for. Let us know. Oh, the Giannis situation. Do you think he's gonna get traded? Do you think he's gonna stay? If he's getting traded, where does he
Very curious.
go?
Oh,
Let us know in the comments down below. We are you down to do finals live streams? NBA finals?
absolutely.
Hold
Absolutely. I
on.
don't know if we can do every single one.
I think I might be
What?
doing like I might do like in person like watch parties with some of my friends, but if I'm not, then I will do watch parties watch parties with you people here on the channel.
Oh,
So
I could realistically do every single game if you really want me to. I'm on summer break. I just totally spaced that.
yeah. Only thing
I
is
just
I don't
totally
want
spaced
to
that.
only thing is I don't want to do like the Pistons and the Cavs because the Knicks are not in that series and they start at like 8 and I'm not on summer break. So I'd have to stay up until like 10 streaming with the lights on all around me and that wouldn't be good to go into school the next day. I don't want to do that
No.
for like a week straight or 2 weeks straight. So we're going to save
Yeah.
that for the finals or
Sure.
maybe the Eastern Conference Finals. We'll see. Anyways,
And then I think one more thing. One more thing. Our next video, if you can film Thursday, I'd like to. Most likely we'll talk about the NFL schedule at least.
yeah,
Most likely. We
definitely.
might talk
We
a little
would
bit about
definitely
it.
talk about the NFL schedule. Well,
As we
I'm
were
not gonna.
filming,
Hmm?
we did see that the Buffalo Bills on Thursday Night Football will be hosting the Detroit Lions. Week 2 Thursday Night Football, that has just been announced, as well as the Cowboys going at New York for the first Sunday Night Football game of the regular season. That's it so far.
Yeah, that is it so far. There have been. Oh no, there is one more. Eagles Cowboys on Thanksgiving.
Like, who cares? No, that's awesome. That's awesome.
I was gonna say, what do you mean? Who cares?
I just don't like Jalen Hurts. I just hate the Eagles, bro. I just don't like them.
if you care about this, Texans Jaguars is in week 6 at Wembley Stadium, so there's that too, but that's not as important. All right. Anyways, we're definitely gonna do a video on the NFL schedule. Until then, we will see you later. And yeah, go Knicks. Hope they win the championship. And goodbye.